Olá, boa tarde. Desculpa, na hora que eu comecei a falar, o computador fechou. I'm sorry, I had a technical problem just when I was starting. Boa tarde, eu sou o Rafael Sampaio, sou o diretor do BR Lab e estou aqui hoje enormemente feliz com esse encontro para anunciar os projetos selecionados pelo Gotemburgo Film Fund 2021 nas categorias desenvolvimento e distribuição inovadora. Queria comentar rapidamente que essa atividade é promovida em parceria com o Show Me the Fund. Junto com o Show Me the Fund, o BR Lab, nesse ano, não só com o Show Me the Fund, mas com o Projeto Paradiso, Cinema do Brasil e Brazilian Content, lançamos uma nova categoria para projetos no estágio mais avançado de desenvolvimento, o BR Lab Copro, e promoveremos na próxima semana outros 2 encontros com outros fundos. No dia 18, às 10 da manhã, aqui nesse mesmo lugar, a gente vai promover um encontro com 3 fundos regionais alemães, Hessen Film, Medium Board de Berlim e o Norden Westfalia. E no dia 19, na próxima terça-feira, também às 10 da manhã, também aqui nesse canal do YouTube, a gente vai encontrar o fundo principal da Itália, o Ministério da Cultura, o Fundo Minoritário Catalão e um fundo regional da região de Cyclic, da França. Essas atividades são parte do BR Lab, um projeto que congrega diferentes workshops graças ao patrocínio do Projeto Paradiso, do Programa Ibermídia, da SP Cine, ao apoio da Embaixada da França, do Department of International Trade do Reino Unido e de tantas outras instituições, e graças ao empenho de uma equipe maravilhosa de produção, de conteúdo. Muito obrigado a toda a equipe e obrigado a todos os nossos parceiros. I'm now switching to English. This activity will be in English, and we are going now to announce the project selected. Before, I would like to thank you so much for the presence of Camila and Peter and Josephine, who are leading this and moderating this activity. I also would like to say that for me, it was a great honor to collaborate with the selection, with the fund. Actually, on May, like some months ago, we were exactly here together with Show Me the Fund to announce the creation and this new initiative, the new fund. And I'm very happy that we are now reaching the end of the process. It was amazing. And I just would like to thank as well my colleagues in the pre-selection committee, Flávia Cândida, Fernanda de Capa, Matheus Pestana, Camila Larsson, Tobias Akesel, and Fred Oslon. Thank you so much, everyone. It was very nice to collaborate with you. And now I'm calling here Josephine Bourgois, Executive Director of Projeto Paradiso, who is moderating this session. Hello, Josephine.
Hi. It's nice to be here again. As you said, we were here in April, you said?
Yes, May. Yeah,
May, right.
Yeah.
And at the time, we had a record-breaking 500 I don't know if you remember that, people assisting. So I wonder how many are assisting now. I know that it is kind of proportional to the number of candidates you had for the fund, because you had a lot, maybe even much more than that, projects and candidates for the call. So I think it was a huge success. So congrats to you, Rafa, for another really great initiative. And I'll take it from there. So I'm Josephine Bourgois. I'm the executive director of Projeto Paradiso, one of the partners of the Show Me the Fund initiative, an initiative which is a partnership between Projeto Paradiso, Cinema do Brasil, and Brazilian content. For those of you who don't know, Show Me the Fund is basically, it's an interactive platform, showmethefund.co, where you will find more than 100 opportunities for international financing for your project. It can be at the stage of development, script writing, it can be production, it can be post, it can be distribution, it can be doc, it can be documentary, it can be fiction, it can be short, it can be feature. So it's very it's a holistic approach to financing audiovisual production in Brazil. And so we're very happy. It's also an interactive tool. You can search, you can tag, you can save your favorite funds. We tried to make it really user-friendly and save time for our producers and or creators who want to look for international financing. Recently, we launched 2 sub-products, but not sub-products, they're, I don't know, editions. And a digital magazine called Focus on Funds, with 5 interviews with with directors of important international funds, and a critical debate about what's happening with international funding globally for the audiovisual sector. And more recently, we launched 25 funds to watch out for. Well, it has 25 funds to watch out for, basically, with 7 new additions, actually 10 new additions to our original map of funds. So you have new funds, 15 for development, 13 for production, and 16 for post or distribution. And I think I'll end up here, because I know everybody wants to know who, the winners of the Göteborg Film Fund, who, of course, is a fund that we talk about in the Show Me the Fund website. So check out the website and please use it and go for it. And we hope that this information will be useful for you who is listening. So back to what we are here to talk about. I will first call Peter Johansson, who's the Vice Consul of Sweden, because the Göteborg Fund is an initiative that's carried out by Göteborg Festival and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So Peter Johansson is the Vice Consul of Sweden in Brazil, in São Paulo, since 2017. So Peter, please come with us.
Thank you very much, Josephine. Pleasure to be here again, I would say, together with Rafael on the screen. We had the pleasure of having Rafael for a talk show we did together with him, promoting also the Film Fund Award in Brazil. So a great honor to be together with you guys here today, and also with Camilla Larsson, who I actually meet for the first time on screen, who is the fund manager. It will be very interesting here to see who has taken the award now. And from our side, supporting the award, representing the Swedish government, and of course, especially the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Sweden, I could not stress more the importance of the audiovisual industry for society as a whole, for democracy in particular. Its importance cannot and should not be underestimated, which is unfortunately the case, as we know, in some situations. I mean, we can ask ourselves, we can do lots of examples now, but how would the knowledge about the atrocities of the Second World War look if we hadn't had the movie Schindler's List, greatly produced by Steven Spielberg? How would the general public in Sweden, Brazil, all over the world, be aware of the salvation of many victims, including Brazilians, during the Pinochet dictatorship in Chile, if it hadn't been for the great production, The Black Pimpernel, telling the story of a former colleague, Harald Edelstam, who was the Swedish ambassador to Chile at that time? Or how would the consciousness around the situation in Brazilian prisons and police violence look like in Brazil if we wouldn't have had the movie Carandiru, if we wouldn't have had the movies Cidade de Deus, City of Gods, about the Brazilian shantytowns? And what would the knowledge of Sweden in Brazil look like, and vice versa, the knowledge of Brazil in Sweden look like without the great movie, the documentary producer Arne Suckstorff, who came to Brazil many years ago, and actually was an important influencer of the Cinema Novo, the new cinema in Brazil, and raised awareness of Brazil back in Sweden. And I might also mention, since we are in Brazil, and since we know that Brazilians love, we have noticed that, Ingmar Bergman. What would happen to the debate around relationships and about the institution of marriage in particular, without Ingmar Bergman's Scenes from a Marriage, which is now newly produced by HBO Max, coming in new versions and so on? Or what would the knowledge be about these people that I have behind me here, the indigenous Swedish people, the Samis, be, if it wouldn't have been for the recent movie Blood of the Sami, Sangisami, and also bringing some criticism towards the Swedish government and how the indigenous people have been handled. And personally, I might ask myself what kind of a person I would have been if I hadn't cried so much by looking at the overwhelmingly emotional movie Cinema Paradiso. That is true, that we have this great influence of the audiovisual sector, but it is also true that the sector in Brazil right now is far from a paradise, although we have Josephine here representing the Paradise project and so on. But we need support. The sector in Brazil needs support. We are highly aware of that. especially considering the recent tragedies involving the Cinemateca and also the decrease of support for the National Film Institute. And I could make the list even longer, but I will not. We, as a Swedish institution in Brazil, we actually use movies and audiovisual tools daily in our work. When we visit new cities or new regions in Brazil, one of the first questions that we make is actually, could we bring a movie festival to raise awareness of the culture? We know that brings an interesting discussion about cultural values and democratic values in particular. And we have also had the honor to have a new project now during the pandemic, of course, online, being the Ponte Nordica, the Nordic bridge, to bring recent new films from the Nordic area to the general Brazilian public. So this is of course good initiatives that we see, and we see now that people are eager now in general to see more movies, that the movie theaters are filling up now once you can go back to them, so to say. So we could say in that sense that the audiovisual industry, the movies, continues to be torches of democratic and inspiring light in a sometimes dark world, not only in Brazil. So I would say that the timing for this support of the Brazilian film industry through the Gotemburg Film Fund could not be better. You cannot be pro-Brazil and against the film industry at the same time. You cannot be a true Democrat and not support the audiovisual industry. So for me, it's therefore, again, an honor to be here present today. And now I'm as eager as everyone is to get to know the winners of the award. Please.
Thank you very much, Peter. And I think we have to applaud your very wise words about the role of audiovisual and the need for support for audiovisual voices to be heard, to tell their stories and show the world. So thank you, Sweden, for contributing to that. And I think Brazil is very grateful. The fund came at a moment where people were looking for a little bit of hope, a little bit of light, and so I think that was a great initiative. And I'm sure numbers will tell you. I think Camila will tell us, how big the demand was, and I think it's a reflection of the times where we live here. So thank you very much for this really great initiative. And now I will call the queen of the night, Camila Larsson, who is the fund manager of the Göteborg Film Fund and head of drama of the Göteborg Film Festival, and who in May was here announcing the fund. And now is the nice part where you announce the winners. So Camila, please join us. And bye, Peter.
Hi, everybody. I'm really happy to be here again. And thank you, Peter, for a great introduction. Yeah, it's really nice to be back. As you already mentioned, I was there in May with 500 people listening. And the result of that was that we received really a lot of applications for the fund from Brazil, all in all over 800 actually.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Congrats.
So we were amazed, happy, but also a bit afraid and shocked. Overwhelmed. Actually, the last day before deadline, I was just sitting, looking at my computer and seeing one application every minute arriving, and I was just, what are we going to do with all this?
We created a monster.
Yes, we did, but somehow we handled the monster, and now finally we are here. So it feels great to be here, and we have prepared a PowerPoint so we could have because before we will announce what we are here for, the selection for development and distribution, I will speak a little bit about what we have already done, the background. So if we could have the first slide of the PowerPoint.
I think it's coming up.
Yes.
A Mari deve ter entendido, óbvio.
Here it is. Yes. Yeah, that's the first. And now we can have the second.
Nice view, though.
Yeah, it is a nice view. It's archipelago, Swedish archipelago. Yes, well, as you already know, Göteborg Film Fund 2021 is part of Göteborg Film Festival, an initiative from the festival financed by the Swedish Ministry of Foreign Affairs within the government's drive for democracy. And for the festival, the aim is to strengthen the film industry, of course, and to contribute to a diversified cultural and media landscape with an increased artistic freedom and freedom of speech. And of course, in the end, getting more fantastic Brazilian films and films from the other countries to the festival. And for this pilot, because this is a pilot year, we targeted Brazil, Sudan, Ukraine, and Kurdish cinema, with supporting development, post-production, and what we call innovative distribution. And we already did the first announcement of the post-production selection at the film festival in Cannes, which was in July this year. And we did a second one for post-production and for development for all the other countries and regions during the festival in Venice in September. And then we had to postpone Brazil and work longer with Brazil because of all the applications, which I think was the absolutely best decision. Yeah, so we could have the next slide and look a little bit, take a closer look at the post-production data concerning Brazil then. So for post-production, we received 145 applications from Brazil only. From the other countries, we received around 25 from each country or region. And out of these 145, around a little bit more than the half were like completed rough cuts. So it's, I mean, just imagine how many almost done films you actually have circulating in the country. Out of those, 65% were documentaries, 32% fiction, feature, and 3% series. And next slide, please. And then we have some data on the gender issue. 72% came from male directors and 28% from female directors. So there's a little work to do in terms of even get that in a bit more even way. When it comes to geography, 67% came from the Southeast region, 17% from the Northeast region, 7% from the South, 6% from the Center and West, and 3% from the North. So films from everywhere, but of course, most of the applications from the Southeast region. And we can have the next slide. So this is not for those of you who don't know, this is not news. So this was already announced. So this is not. But the post-production selection from Brazil was A Landless Woman, Alien Nights, Aunt Virginia. And if you want to, I won't say all the names because it will just take a lot of time, but you can read a little bit if you want.
This was announced in Cannes and in Venice, right?
No. Yes, these three were announced in Venice. And then if
Venice.
we take the next slide, Rule 34 was announced in Cannes, where we also had the producer Tatiana Leite attending the press conference. It was really nice. And the colony, it was also announced during Venice. So in Cannes, we had one film from each country or region announced.
Wonderful.
And we get some report. We are, of course, hoping for to screen at least some of the films at the upcoming festival. So we are now trying to get some news about in what stage they are. So we know that the Rule 34 are doing their post-production right now in France. And I think also we got some news from Aunt Virginia doing their music and sound production right now. So hopefully very soon in the future we can all see those films.
Yes,
So
hopefully.
Yes.
In a movie theater. Woohoo! How
yes,
crazy.
in several movie theaters. So let's move on to the next slide. Then now we are coming to the news. When talking about the reason for us to decide to support distribution and innovative distribution is because the system for distribution have undergone an extensive change during the latest years, and this has been speeded up by the pandemic. So we see a need to find new ways for films and series to reach their audience. And with this support, we were looking for new ideas, surprising cooperations, and smart solutions to reach out. And we, all in all, we received 63 applications from all the countries, out of which 44 were from Brazil.
Wow.
And the selection committee ended up in selecting altogether 4 projects. One Sudanese moving a cinema van touring the neighborhoods in Khartoum, organized by the organization Civic Lab with the aim to not only to watch and discuss the films, but also to encourage people to start making films and getting to know how that would be possible. One of them is Kurdish. It's a Kurdish film tour with its base in Rojava in Syria, taking films from the Rojava commune around to Kurdish communities around Europe. And 2 of them are from Brazil. So, okay, we start with one of them. So please bring in the next slide. Yes, the first one is Chuvisco, an active distribution network for A Brother's Mind, submitted by the organization Chamego Bandido. And we think this is a beautiful idea around an active community, which could be an inspiring role model for the future. So, yes, I think we have some people with us, don't we?
Right. So, well, this is great that we are starting this emotional moment now. So I will call in Deo Cardoso and Thalita Arruda, who are behind the Chuvisco project that was awarded the Creative Distribution Prize. And I just want to salute this initiative that you created, this category for creative distribution, because I think the times we're really asking for great projects and new ways to think about distribution, even before the pandemic, but definitely pandemic made it even more urgent. So I think we will have Thalita and Deo to receive the award.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully
they are here somewhere.
I know they were backstage.
Yeah.
So I know they'll be coming in. I'm sure it's just a question. Yay, so there they are. Hey, Thalita.
Esperar a Del chegar.
Vamos esperar. If you could speak English, it'd be better because Camila would understand your appreciation. If you don't want to, then I'll translate. So you just do as you wish.
Tá ótimo. Não sei se eu começo, se espero Del.
Não sei da Del. Del ainda não está na sala. Quer começar? Aí a gente, quando a Del chegar...
Eu vou começando. Eu vou tentar falar em português e tentar traduzir em inglês ao mesmo tempo. Eu estou muito feliz, enfim, de estar aqui, agradecida imensamente, feliz pela companhia também dos demais projetos. Chuvisco, ele reverbera muito desejos construídos, acho que em cooperação, né, no nosso audiovisual, justamente para ampliar as presenças dos nossos cinemas nas telas e também, acho que nas conversas além cinema, né? Então, Chuvisco is a network that spreads our desires to build in cooperation our audiovisual and pretends to expand our presence on screens and in conversations beyond cinema. So it's a work that has a historicity, so I really want to emphasize that. E vou agradecer nominalmente a equipe de distribuição que está até o momento, porque esse trabalho, enfim, é feito em conjunto.
Só não pode estar aqui por limitação da plataforma, senão estaria todo mundo aqui, né?
Exatamente, a gente queria chamar todo mundo, mas enfim, temos essa limitação. Então, o agradecimento a Alessandra Costa, Benones Lessa, Daniel de Paula, Del Cardoso, que vai entrar, Doug de Paula, Marcos Irano, Maria Camila Silva, Marina Tarabai, Patrícia Bahia, Rael Fontinelles, Thaís Barbosa e a parceria também com o Semente, que está diretamente envolvido na construção da Chuvisco. O filme é uma distribuição da Corte Seco, com consultoria da Freestyle. E é isso, essas parcerias e essas presenças que permitem a gente estar aqui. Enfim, então o Chuvisco também chama a gente para chuviscar, acho que, enfim, é nesse pingar, né, que a gente vai criando brechas. A Patrícia falou isso, então vou aqui pegar emprestado dela. E agradecer, espero que o Del também venha, porque, enfim, ele tem muito a dizer também aqui para a gente.
So many thanks, and also a big team. It seems like we have lost Del, so maybe what we'll do is whenever Del is back, because he's not backstage anymore, we'll bring him in, because I'm not sure we can just wait for Del to be back in backstage, but I understand, and also a very important thing that this is all about collaboration and this aggregation of talent, and so I think it's important that we do bring in whenever he's back Del, because he has a lot to say, says Talita. So Talita, congrats. Well deserved award, and I'm sure it'll be very well used, and we will all benefit from it. So good luck with the project, and we'll bring in Andeo as soon as that is possible, and we'll move on. Bye, Talita. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Camila.
We will move on to the next.
Yes. So we will move on to the next. So please, the next slide then. Exciting.
It's coming.
Yes.
Suspense is always good in this case.
Yes, I think it's good. There you are. Vitrine Lab Expanded Experience from Vitrine Filmes. We like the idea of this ongoing lab, never stopping to try to find new innovative ways to work. And actually at the Göteborg Festival, we have something we call the Nostradamus Academy, which started earlier this year, which is a training program for film and television industry professionals. So I'm looking forward to exchanging experiences soon in the future. We have guests here as well.
Yes. So to receive the award on behalf of Vitrine Lab, we call in Felipe Lopez, director of Vitrine, and Felipe will be with us soon.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Camila. Nice to meet you. Hi, Josephine. I would do like Talita. I will start in Portuguese and then I will translate. Okay, Camila.
Thank you.
Well, but first, thank you very much for our Gotemburgo Film Fund. And it's amazing to be here and receive this award. And I'll talk now in Portuguese a little bit. Vou falar aqui pro público brasileiro. Quero agradecer a equipe da Vitrine. Distribuição, a gente aprende que é algo coletivo. O cinema é uma arte coletiva. O Vitrine Lab, ele é um projeto que surgiu de dentro da vitrine com a equipe, a Amanda Carobayashi, o Bernardo Lessa e a Lívia Donadelli trouxeram a ideia. A gente fez uma primeira edição muito maravilhosa, é um projeto muito coletivo, nosso vitrine também com a equipe, compartilhando conhecimento. E para o público que já conhece um pouco do Vitrine Lab nessa parte de capacitação, mesmo com somente 2 edições, a gente está propondo uma edição expandida, onde a gente vai aplicar um projeto de distribuição durante a formação. Então, é muito gratificante. Quero agradecer a todo mundo da Vitrine, enfim. Silvia Cruz, que fundou essa empresa maravilhosa, hoje minha sócia, minha amiga, e todo mundo que está com a gente dando as aulas, Letícia Santinon, Tamara, Ana Letícia, Rafaela, o Heitor, a Maiara, gente, é muita gente, eu tenho medo de esquecer, mas Elaine, toda a equipe que está junto, no geral, o Irá, Carol, Paloma, eu vou tentar falar o nome de todo mundo, Delis, que veio da primeira edição no Lab e já faz parte da equipe Vitrine, enfim, é muito gratificante. Du, Cosa, com a parte de pós e com a Tanto Produções tão querida. Realmente é uma equipe muito, muito grande, muito querida, e que, se não fosse todo mundo junto, a gente não conseguiria estar aqui. So, Camila, I was saying that Vitrine is a collective project. It was built with the Vitrine team. And we believe in collective projects and the collective and the joint of forces to distribute, to communicate, to talk about film and independent film and Brazilian films as well. And so we have a really great team. I would especially to speak about Amanda, Bernardo, and Lívia that brought the idea of the Vitrine Lab, and Vitrine has a history of innovative projects, and this one now with the joint of formation and capacitation and the distribution and the industry and the ability to share experience and to share knowledge. It's really great to be able to promote it and to have now a great partnership with you, and we really want to exchange with Nostradamus as well. We believe that we can go beyond, and it's really grateful to be here. Thank you for the award, and thank you all the team of Vitrine for being with me and being together all the time, and during this pandemic situation, but I was together and focusing on culture and cinema. Thank you very much. Obrigado a todos. Obrigado, Josefine. Obrigado, BR Lab.
Congrats, Felipe.
Thank you. I'm doing my best to understand. I speak quite decently Spanish, and I can read some Portuguese, so I can pick something up, but then you go faster, I lose you. So
I think you can pick up on the emotion.
Yeah. It's really great to share knowledge and to expand this experience of Vitrine Lab, and not only having the classes, but also applying a project within the process. I think this is a great thing that we are going to do with this award now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Felipe, and good luck with everything. So finally, we do have Del Cardoso online back, so we'll bring him in to receive the award we announced previously. Oi, Del, tudo bem?
Hi.
Hi there. Thank you very much. Sorry for the technical problems I had. But thank you, Camila. Thank you, Josephine. Thank you, everybody. We're really happy. This award came in really handy. We're trying to, squeeze water from a stone. Thank you for your trust and confidence, Camila, and everybody in the organization. Thank you for everything. Our project is named Chuvisco. It's named after the protagonist's name, which is Saulo Chuvisco. Chuvisco is translated into drizzle, I think. Drizzle, like a thin Rain. The project intends to reach a film destitute audience, you know, people who don't have access to film theaters, don't have access to, you know, streaming platforms. I'm talking about urban poor people in the favelas, indigenous settlements, Quilombo settlements, you know, where my people are from. And it will involve teachers, students, community leaders throughout the country. So thank you very much for supporting this. And we're not waiting, we're working already. Thank you very much, Camila, Josephine, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Dale. I'm sure you'll do great work. We're very nice to. I'm sorry. Congratulations. Peraí. Je sais pas. Dans le là-bas. Sorry, my kid. Just showed up with no whatever. The computer went down. He has a class. I'm so sorry. So Dale, congrats. And I'm sure we heard from Talita about the project. It's interesting that both projects are very collaborative and collective, and I think that's a sign again of what really, you know, will make a difference. So good luck and congrats again.
Thank you very
Good
much.
luck.
I'm sorry.
We'll keep in touch. Fine.
And now, Camila, we will move on to the announcement of the projects selected for the development award. If you want to talk to us a little bit about the importance of the prize and maybe how the selection went, and then we'll go into the selected.
I have some more statistics for you. Development support was a really popular one, you could say. All in all, we received 610 applications from Brazil. To compare with the other countries, around 75 from each country. And here, 52% fiction, 29% documentary. So the other way around, actually, if you compare to the post-production percentages, and 19% of series. And we can have the next slide, please. And a little bit more even, 56% from male directors, 44% from female. So the future is looking good in terms of, so far it's looking good in terms of gender equality. From the Southeast region, 75%, Northeast, 12%, the South, 6%, the Center West, 4%, and the North, 3%. And next slide, please. And I would like to present the selection committees. They did, the pre-selection committee has done a tremendous work, I would say, carefully going through all this material. I really want to thank everybody taking part of this, because it was has been a huge amount of work, which you all can imagine. In the pre-selection committee, we had Rafael, who you saw earlier, who was speaking, managing director of BR Lab, and Klaxon Cultura audiovisual producer and founding partner. We had Flavia Candida, curator, filmmaker, and producer, among other things. Fernanda De Capua, writer, director, pitch trainer, script doctor. Mateus Pestana, film programmer, curator, production assistant at BR Lab and Klaxon. We also had me, fund manager and programmer at Göteborg Film Festival. Tobias Åkesson, who is head of the Nordic program at Göteborg Film Festival, and Freddie Olsson, who is a senior programmer freelancing for the festival. And then in the final selection committee, we had, except me, Jonas Holmberg, the artistic director of the festival, Sia Edström, head of industry, and Tobias again. So thank you from my heart, everybody. I have been feeling really lousy sometimes when I've been thinking about the amount of work you have been doing in the circumstances that we've been in, but in such an amazing way. So thank you. Next slide. This is a little bit to explain the timeline of the work, the selection work. So we had the deadline for submission on June 10, and then we realized that we couldn't manage all those applications within the planned time. So we postponed the process for Brazil. So on September 10th, we had the first pre-selection phase 1 when those 610 projects were supposed to come down to 30. And before this, each application was read twice and followed by discussions within the group. And then ended up at first 60 projects, and then all 60 projects were read by everybody, and then new discussions, and then ended up in a short list on September 10th of 30 projects. And then the 30 projects were asked to send in additional material, which we all went through. And then there was the pre-selection for phase 2, September 27, when the 30 projects after discussions came down to 9. And then the final selection committee had its meeting on October 7 and decided upon the 5 we will soon get to know. So this was the process.
Wow, I mean, what a great amount of work, but with great collaborators, and I'm sure it was a titanic amount of work.
Yes,
but
and just thinking about all the material we have now, I mean, all this, I mean, somebody should really, some university or something should, study this and do something because it really says something about Brazil at the moment. A lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So let's go to the next.
Tough choice. So how did you get to 5? It's 4. 5, I'm sorry.
5.
Yeah, 5. Right.
Yeah.
So we will find out who the 5 are, and it's very clear now how selective and competitive the process was. So they are they should be very, very proud of themselves.
Yes, and everybody else should be proud of themselves as well, because I mean, so many more should have gotten something, but well, what we have is what we have in terms of financing. But
of course,
now we have reached this moment then when we when those 600 applications has to be narrowed down to 5, and it's kind of overwhelming and it makes you quite humble, I think, when you think of all the creative ideas, all the unique projects from all over Brazil that have been presented to us, and all the amazing talent behind them. I mean, there are so many stories that need to be told, and I wish, of course, we could do more, but at least we are going to be part of giving some of these projects a chance to really become a film.
Yes.
Yeah. So should we start with the first?
Move on to the first winner of the night, of the day.
Next slide, please. The first one is As Novas Severinias, a beautiful documentary project by Elisa Kapai, where she will return and seek out the same girls that she filmed a decade ago.
Wonderful.
Yes.
You want to say a few words, or should I bring in Elisa and Mariana?
You should bring her in.
Okay. So we're calling in Elisa Kapai and Mariana.
Hello. Thank you so much.
Hi.
Hi, Josephine. Hi, Camila. So I'm Mariana. I'm the producer of As Novas Severinias. I just want to say a big thank you to the Gotemburgo Fund and everybody involved in this event, the Paradigm. I'm sorry, I don't know if there is some makes sense.
It's working.
It's okay. I'm sorry. I'm just me. So thank you so much it's an honor to be selected and to have Göteborg Fund as a partner from now on. We are really, really happy. Imagine how difficult it must have been to select 5 projects in the middle of 600 of, I'm sure, excellent projects. As everybody knows, we are facing dark moments in Brazil with no perspective to independent cinema, as well as no perspective to culture, to science, to education, no perspective to life. So I just want to thank so much and highlight the importance of initiatives like that. I will pass to my lovely partner, Elisa, director of As Novas Severinas.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'll just explain a little the project on the occasion of the 10th anniversary of Bolsa Família, a program that provides financial aid to poor Brazilian families. In 2013, I went to Guaribas, Piauí, the town where the project started, Bolsa Família. I got there bearing a question in my mind: how this income transfer policy that prioritizes the granting to women is transforming gender relations. I observed the lives of women and children benefited by the program. Mothers who lived through hunger and slavery, as they used to say. Help daughters who attended school. Despite all poverty and droughts, we had examples of what Brazil's exit from the UN's hunger map meant. The mothers, women around 30 years old, dreamed in their childhood about having a nice husband who would appreciate them, always reporting to me their thrill, their victory regarding men. But all the girls I talked to, however, dreamed about working. For example, Serena, that is the daughter of Lucia, she was with pigtails and hands on her waist, and she told me word by word that she would not get married. All the kids said more or less this sentence for me. This kind of reply shocked me the most, and I left the place feeling like I was witnessing the beginning of a historical transformation in my country, feeling like all those women who were my age were part of the last generation of slaves, and those girls were capable of dreaming their own lives. There was no doubt that this would be a long and painful process, but I believe at that moment there was no turning back. Unfortunately, we know what is going on in Brazil now, and since Dilma Rousseff had been impeached, we are observing the cutting down of the Bolsa Família program and placing back Brazil in UN's hunger map. I'm really scared to go back to Guaribas, but I'm also really eager to return there. I want to look for those girls who have grown to be teens and adults now and understand how the current cutbacks to the public policies of income redistribution and all the political situations have affected their lives. From that moment on, I intend to investigate and keep up with them. Out of this investigation and contrasting it with the 2013 scenario, I hope to develop a movie capable of capturing this recent social and political moment in Brazil, going through aiming for an understanding of the relations between public policies and the people, creating a subtle portrayal of our time. And in the same way, Bolsa Família, this public program is suffering cut, all of us know that the public funds for culture are also disappearing in Brazil now. This government is trying to erase our story and our capacity to look to reality, to transform reality, and to transform it using culture and arts. And it's also trying to finish our capacity of dreaming. So I want to thank so much for the Gotemburgo Fund for giving us the chance to start this project and to dream about making this portrait of our country. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Elisa, and congrats again, Elisa and Mariana. Camila, you want to say?
Yeah, we're just looking forward to following your work and hopefully screening the film in the future at the festival.
Hopefully. Thank you so much, Camila.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Looking forward to the movie. So we will be moving on to our next winner.
Yes.
So next slide is coming up. Okay.
Oh, the next project is Babado by another Camila Freitas and João Vieira Torres. An exciting, creative documentary built in cooperation with the network of young gay and transgender people in the Amazonian border area between Brazil, Peru, and Colombia.
Great. Great choice. I will call in João Torres and Camila Freitas to receive the award.
Hello. Hello, everybody. We are so happy, so excited to be here and to receive this grant. It's really important for us. This project is a very special one. We have been developing it for the last 3 years. And it's a film on the triple border between Brazil, Colombia, and Peru, as you said, at a crossroads where many dissidences superpose: gender and sexual dissidences, religious and cosmological dissidences, since our characters are gay and transgender people, also connected to Umbanda, which is a Nephro-diasporical religion, a frontier religion that melts native African and European spirituality. And so their communities, our characters' communities, are really, they have always had to learn how to shine in the shadows since colonization. It's a very, I mean, it's not a struggle from today, but these last 3 years have been especially challenging for their communities. So we are very grateful for this opportunity to go on with this project. And I pass on the word to João, my co-director. Thanks again.
I made Camila words mine too. I thank you all very much. This project is very important for us because times are really hard for this community, for our communities, who are queer communities, who come from Afro-Amerindian backgrounds. There is a crusade, a cultural crusade against those religions and those ways of living. And so in our film, there is something very important, is to question the idea of family, because for some people, the idea of family is very restrictive. And in our case, family goes beyond even the life, the living and the dead. And there is a companionship of the living and the dead to be able to cross this world in very troubled times. The word babado means a lot of things in Brazil. I don't know, Camila, if you're aware of it, but
I read it.
Is, yes. I mean, babado is a word that defines everything and nothing. It says if someone is do babado, means someone who is part of an Afro-Brazilian religion, but also as part of the community, the LGBT community, and someone who does prostitution or something that's really great. So we hope our film will have all those meanings, and will open, not only talk about the pain that people are living through, but also the beauty and the ways of bringing this beauty to the world through those troubled times.
We wish you
so
exactly that.
we gotta say thank you to our producers, Marina Meliandi and Pedro Duarte, Duas Mariolas Filme e Primeiridade, to Institut Français, which helped us to a first trip, and to José Miguel Olivar, who took us there, and to all our characters and family now. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you. Your pictures the pictures look amazing when you see the characters and all that. So I'm looking forward to following your work.
Thank you. Congratulations, Ron and Camila. And
Thank you very much.
With the project. Very important and necessary project. Take care.
Thank you a lot.
So now, we're already at the third, right?
Yes, we are. So,
project.
Yes. So let's bring in the next slide. The third one is Germano Black Society, directed by Evelane Moraes. And this is a documentary about a person who seems larger than life already in the application. So I'm eager to see how this is going to be in the end on film.
And so to receive the award, I will call in Evelane Moraes and Fernanda Lomba.
Hello. Hello, Josephine. Hello, Camila. It's nice to be here. Evelane is the director, and she don't speak English, and we're speaking in Portuguese for us. And Josephine, if you can translate for Camila. Sure. Nice. Eve?
Oi, Evelane, pode falar em português que eu vou traduzir para você.
Posso falar? Ótimo. Meu nome é Evelane Moraes, né? Sou diretora do projeto Germano Black Society.
Evelane é a diretora, is the director of the project.
Uma coprodução entre a trilha, a mídia, né, dos documentaristas Ricardo e Felipe.
A co-production and the credits are on the project.
Não seria melhor que eu falasse tudo e quem conseguiu entender?
Tá bom.
Entendeu?
Pode ser, aí eu posso resumir também, porque às vezes eu não vou falar todos os nomes, por exemplo, porque senão vai ser um pouco... enfim.
Okay. Então, eu vou direto para o filme, né? Primeiro, assim, Germano Black Society é uma figura da noite paulistana, né? Ele é um colunista social, né? Que está completando 50 anos de sua carreira, né? E também 50 anos da sua causa, né? De vida, que é justamente criar e divulgar uma aristocracia no Brasil, né? Negra no Brasil. Então, Germano Black Society é um personagem de si mesmo, né? Performático, alegórico, provocador, né? Então, com esse filme, queremos abrir o palco, né, para Germano Black Society, que dá nome ao título do filme, deixar ele se expressar, né? Vestir-se e travestir-se, né? De suas múltiplas facetas que esse personagem tem, e captar essa essência desse personagem que é singular, emblemático, né? E contraditório também, e é quase desconhecido para o Brasil, né? Para o público do Brasil e do mundo. Então, eu quero agradecer muito, né, em nome de toda a equipe, esse prêmio, dizer que isso nos ajudará bastante a gente seguir, né, com força nessa luta, né, por trazer personagens incríveis como o Germano. Então, em nome da equipe, agradecer e dizer que o prêmio sempre, né, é de a gente ganha uma boa hora, né, tá tudo muito complicado no Brasil para a gente conseguir levar à frente os projetos. Então, agradecer mesmo esse apoio. É isso. Obrigada.
Tá bom. Como a Camila conhece o projeto, eu acho que, na verdade, é mais para o público brasileiro esse resumo, que é bom saber de que se trata, porque a Camila knows all about the project and our Brazilian public doesn't, so it's great that Evelane gave us a little summary of what it's about and the importance to bring to light this very unusual trajectory and the character of Germano Black Society, and wants to thank you for the support. And there's also a large team behind all this effort, but basically thanking your support and wanting to make this story come to light that very few people in Brazil and in the world have heard about this Black social columnist. So Fernanda, you want to add some words?
Yeah, some words. As producer, I can say it's a big honor for us, and this support comes in a good time. We in this week we make a little video about Germano, And for this, Evelyn is in São Paulo right now, and for us it's an honor to meet the equipe and the staff, the team, and for this, and it's a big honor to end this year with a more other support and a partner about the film, and for made a big film and a respect film for the character, and for us it's a big honor. Thanks so much, and thank for seeing the project and the potential project in the potential film. And thanks, Camila. Thanks, Josephine.
Thank you. We were saying when we were discussing the film actually that this is like really universal, and we were talking about that this could be a film that the audience at the festival really would love, I think, just to, yeah.
Everlane, ela está dizendo que ela achou, quando estavam discutindo o projeto, eles acharam que ele tinha um caráter meio universal, enfim, apesar de ser uma história extremamente local, enfim, e que eles acham que ele conseguiria encontrar sua audiência no festival.
Eu acho que com certeza, Germano é múltiplo, então eu acho que é a grande possibilidade de ter uma grande empatia do público, né, de outros lugares, assim, a causa dele. É uma grande pessoa com uma causa super nobre.
She's agreeing with you, saying that his cause was so noble that it can appeal to a universal audience, and this bigger-than-life character can appeal to a universal audience. So congratulations, Fernanda Irelani. We're absolutely eager to see the movie, and good luck with everything.
Yeah, thank you.
Obrigada.
Bye.
Bye.
Muito bem. So, moving on.
Moving on with the next
two to go. Yes. We have the next winner.
The fourth one is Laguna, directed by Maurílio Martins, with a film with a man who plays a fictionalized version of himself in a kind of fable for adults, where he's finding the strength within himself to become a strong bear or something, I would say.
Wonderful. So we're calling in Maurílio Martins and Thiago Correia to receive the award. And they're on the same screen.
Oh, yeah. Hello. Hi.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Good evening. No, good afternoon, everybody. Well, I am Thiago. I am the producer of Laguna. We are very, very, very happy to be here. I really want to thank the Gotemburgo Film Fund, Camila, and everybody on the selection committee for giving us this opportunity, giving so many people the opportunity of presenting the project. As you saw, it was very well needed and received in Brazil. We are very happy for the selection, especially because originally the first time we thought about this project, it was going to be probably a project that we were thinking about doing ourselves, maybe without funding, because we thought that it was not going to have a space, especially internationally, and to have this kind of support and boost for the project is quite amazing. So yeah, I guess that's it. It is a project about a man trying to find his way back into society after some mistakes. So for us to have the opportunity of, through this project, also helping him find his way back into society and also his way where he belongs, because we think that cinema is where he belongs, for us is very important. So we really, 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 we are really thankful for this support, and hopefully very soon we will be able to show this film to everybody.
Most definitely.
Vou falar em português, tá, Josefine? Deve traduzir. Vou falar rápido. Primeiro que eu estou muito, muito, muito feliz. É um filme sobre o meu bairro, Laguna, é o nome do bairro onde eu nasci, cresci, ainda vivo. E é um filme sobre o meu melhor amigo.
So it's a movie about his own neighborhood. That's where he was born and grew up, and it's a story about his best friend. You might know all of this, but I'll just say it again.
E um filme sobre fantasia e esperança, ou a fantasia e a esperança enquanto modelo de sobrevivência, não só no Brasil atual, mas no Brasil desde sempre.
It's about hope and fantasy, and maybe the hope of fantasy as a model of
as a way
of surviving in the times we live in Brazil and maybe elsewhere.
E é meu projeto mais pessoal. É um projeto em que eu vou atuar também. É um projeto que eu vou filmar literalmente a minha casa, a minha rua, só que numa estrutura completamente ficcional, numa estrutura totalmente fabular. Então, para mim, é uma emoção muito, muito grande poder receber um prêmio, o primeiro prêmio do projeto, e ser um fundo que visa justamente projetos em países que estão em condições terríveis. Então, para mim, é muito importante esse projeto com esse prêmio.
So it's his most personal project. He will be acting, he will be filming in his neighborhood, his home, even though in a fable, fictionized version. So it's not a documentary, of course. So since it's such a personal project, it makes all the more, an emotion and a gratification to win this award, the first international award of the project. So he's, he's twice as happy as he could be that it's such a personal project and getting this international award.
Yes.
Anything
Thank
you want to
very
add?
much.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Projeto Paradiso. Thank you, BR Lab, and congratulations to everybody.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good luck with the project.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And I have to say one thing. I'm so happy to see all these amazing Brazilian professionals. I mean, Thiago, Filme do Plástico, and before all of them, the directors, the producers. And I'm so happy that amongst them, there are so many Talento Paradiso and people we have supported and who got an award to either participate in a lab or to, they were selected in a market or festival, and then we were able to support them. So I'm seeing all of them, and I'm not saying anything because I don't want to, but I'm very happy because it's really great to see that, talents are, funds like yours have really, brought light to really, really, really talented professionals, and it will be a tremendous help. And it's really great to see them thrive, and it's really just wonderful to see some of the little Paradiso family as well as in there. So moving on to the fifth and last project, supported
the last project,
development.
yes. The last is 2019 by Afonso Ochoa, and an allegory of contemporary Brazil told in 3 different stories with the same characters or almost, or the same actors. Really exciting treatment to read.
Wonderful. So to receive the award, we'll bring in Afonso Ochoa and Julia Alves for the 2019 project.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Oi, gente. Well, I'm Julia. I'm the producer of 2019. And I just want to say a few words. Enfim, muito brevemente. Thank you so much I would like to thank the selection committee, the Gotemburgo Film Fund, the Gotemburgo Film Festival. For us, it's very, very important to have the support right now. We've been developing the project for a few years now, and we are now in a very challenging moment, of course, everybody knows, politically, but in the culture, in the cinema. And definitely we're very happy because this fund will really be possible for us to go on and keep on doing our film and our job. And I just wanted to say very quickly that I'm very happy and to see all the projects here, because I think most of most of all, right now in Brazil, the most important thing that we can do is not to give up. And I'm seeing here a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues, and I'm very happy to see and to say that we are not going to stop. We're going to keep doing our job. And then definitely Göteborg Film Fund is helping us in this. And é isso. And thank you again. And Afonso can talk a little bit too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. I want to say that Julia's words is also mine. I would like to thank you, Gotemburgo Film Festival, Gotemburgo Film Fund, Projeto Paradiso, for all this support. It's just crucial for the film to exist. It's like the only way to push this film on. And Camila also present the film, and then maybe it's almost everything that I can tell about the film right now, but just trying to extend a little bit the worlds and try to figure out a little bit more about the film. 2019 is freely inspired in a book from American writer John Dos Passos. The book is called 1919, and it's based on some life stories on the beginning of the 20th century in the United States. And the name of the book, it's like the hope of the first year after the First World War. Also, what means that it's like a 0 year, a first year for the humanity after a big tragedy. 2019, for instance, is like our 0 year for Brazilian history, the first year of Bolsonaro era, and the year that it's the beginning of the challenge of Brazil to look directly into our own eyes, to understand what happened when we accept a fascist ruling and guiding our country. The film has 3 different stories. The film has 3 different segments placed in 3 different locations and happening in 3 different moments of Brazilian history. And I would like to portray putting these 3 stories together, a general story of Brazil, a country that has faced some kind of oppression and influence, the slavery influence, the underdevelopment influence through our history. And especially with these 3 histories together, we'd like to try to portray the challenging of building a tomorrow, to build a future. The film that looks to the Brazilian past to try to figure a Brazilian future. And all the characters, all the stories, all the locations, all the segments are tried to portray and try to build a future, a tomorrow for Brazil, for the characters, for the whole structure of the dramaturgy of the film. And for me, it's special to be here and to see my film part of this important and special group of filmmakers and producers, and to feel that we are also trying to push for a tomorrow for Brazilian cinema, to try to push for a new day, to try to push for a hope, to move on, and to say that Bolsonaro is a nightmare for us, but it's not the end. We're going to push on and we're going to continue, and we won't give up. Thank you.
Thank you, and good luck. And of course, we are looking forward to following you as well, and maybe in some years we will bring the film to Gothenburg.
For sure, hopefully it will be a real and huge pleasure.
And maybe by then, part of the nightmare will have ended, if it's in a couple years from now.
We hope so.
Thank you. Yes, let's not even try to think it can be any other way. Thank you, and also thank you for this message of hope, of a future for movies and for Brazil, and for so you were saying you won't give up. We never ever want you to let go, to stop, to give up. So please continue, go on making movies and spreading the word and designing, and creating, shaping a kind of future for everyone. So good luck with this project, amazing project, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
And on this note of hope and about also the importance of, I think it's really clear that the difference you've made as a fund, and something that was actually said by Maurílio, and I didn't focus on, was the importance of receiving a fund that was created to help voices in a very friendly environment, such as Brazil's right now. And I mean, this was your editorial line from the beginning, was this fund, and I think it's really clear what a difference it will make, and how much we need these stories to be told. And you've heard it from all of these really great and talented professionals from Brazil, and I think it'll be amazing to see these stories come to light. And of course, you were saying how they will reach probably a very universal, global audience through your help, through the festival, the Göteborg Festival, other festivals, and I'm sure they have amazing lives ahead of them. And I really want to thank you for your support, because probably were it not for the fund, they might have not, at least, I mean, it might have been a bit more difficult for them to see the light. So thank you again very much. And I know Rafael Sampaio wants to also give his last words.
No, just to say thank you and congratulations all. I was so happy watching and seeing everyone, so many good and talented filmmakers and producers and professionals. Thank you, Camila, Josephine. It was amazing. You were amazing. And Beer Lab continues. Nossas atividades continuam até o dia 22 de outubro. Promoveremos ainda encontros com outros 5 fundos. Na próxima segunda-feira, com 3 fundos alemães. E na terça-feira, com outros fundos europeus. Thank you so much, Camila. And this is just a final word so people can come.
Yes. Thank you so much, and Josephine as well. You're French, Josephine? Josephine, maybe?
Oui.
Yes?
Oui.
Oui, je parle français. Yes, thank you so much. And let's hope, as everybody is saying, for a rapid change when it comes to politics and the financing of the film or everything in Brazil, making it possible for the film industry to regain the strength they really deserve, which is obvious. So yeah, let's hope for a change. And for the fund, this was a pilot project, so we don't know exactly right now how the future will look, but we are looking for possible financing for continuing our work in different ways. So hopefully we will be back somehow soon in the future. So thank you.
Now you cannot leave us, Camila. It's forever and ever.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And of course, if this wouldn't have been in a year with a pandemic, I would have been traveling all over Brazil by now. But so hopefully in the future.
Yes.
Definitely.
We're waiting for you.
Yeah. Okay, so bye-bye and see you later, everyone. Até mais, thank you so much.
Obrigada pela presença de todos. Tchau.
Nice.
Bye. Thank you.